What's up, world? You are welcome to Nestele. I am here to convince you to read this book, Failing Forward by Jesse Maxwell. He is one of those guys that, if you don't know him personally, like you've never read anything from him before, he's someone I'm pretty sure you've learned something from him. He's a leader when it comes to teaching people about leadership, influence, teamwork, and even your attitude as a person. And today we're talking about failing. Now, who should read this book? Let me start with this. If you're someone that has struggled with confidence, I am realizing I'm doing a bit of study in confidence, your ability to talk, your ability to get something done. The reason why you're scared of trying something is because you don't have confidence in yourself that you can be able to do it. So even sometimes when nobody is there and you're trying to pull something off, you realize you don't want to do it because you don't have confidence in yourself. If you're someone that struggles with any of those things, this book is for you. If you also know someone who has the struggles and it's obvious, you should try and get them this book, or at least read it and then try and teach them what to do. I also would recommend this for parents. If you have parents and you're raising kids, one of the major things you want to teach them is to be confident. We don't know what the world is going to be 20 years from now or 10 years from now, depending on when your child becomes a full-grown, productive adult. But it's important that they learn that it's important that you need to be very confident. So teach your kids to be very confident. So this book is very important. So I'm talking about failure now. What I love about this book the most is that it explains a different way of looking at failure. You know, there's a saying that anybody who has never failed is someone that has never tried anything. That's a common saying. You have to try things over and over again. And there's a big misconception that people that have succeeded are just successful, as in there are people that just try things and they always succeed. What a lot of people are not willing to come to reality with yet is that there are several things that the person may have tried that did not work. They tell you that for every person that is successful at 10 things, they've likely tried 10,000 things. Do you understand? I think in marketing they say things like how for every 100 calls you make, you're going to get 5 people that will be willing to take your call. So just imagine that. So the successful marketers that you know that have a big Rolodex of people, they have called several other people that have said no. Do you understand? So it's just very interesting the way to look at failure. He talked about the looking at failure as a learning pad, as a leaping pad. Understand that, okay, now that you've learned this about yourself, bounce up and keep going, you know. And there's a scene, I remember I read it somewhere on, I forgot where I read it, where they talked about humans are the only ones who see failure as a finality. Do you understand? Most animals go out to hunt, and if they don't get any food, that doesn't stop them from going tomorrow to do something. But most times humans have a tendency to, if you're not successful in this, you tend to just sit down and fold your hand, or not even try that thing again, or not even try at all, just give up totally. So it's very risky to want to give up, and it affects your confidence. I keep talking about this confidence of a thing because it's very important. So let me see if I can highlight a bit of the things that he made very this thing. This book, I have it, but it's not mine. I didn't get it myself, but I listened to it on Script. On Script, there was an abridged version. I don't know what it's called. Abridged. I'll write the right word here. An abridged version of the book where it's like that one is like 2 hours long. So if you want, you can listen to that. I did realize I preferred that version to this one because this one had a lot of people that he was just an example that, you know, they didn't age well. You know what that means? Like something that may have been cool to say sometime in 1990s. It's not very cool to say now, you know, that kind of thing. And this book was written in 2000. So I wanted to make out, where's the list of the things that I saw? That's the things that he kind of mentioned, or the things that he listed out when it comes to failing, how you should look at it. Then he turned that into chapters. Where is it? Come on, I've lost it. Okay, there it is. So he talked about things like realize that one major difference between average people, there's one major difference between average people and achieving people. The difference is the way they handle failure. Do you understand? Then learn a new definition of failure. He even said, I'm sure it's one of these things, say make failure your friend. Become friendly with failure. It shouldn't be something that if it happens to you, you're like, hey, you know, teach. Do you understand? I remember a friend of mine told me that her dad used to ask her when she came back home in primary school that what did you fail at today? And he said at first, it's my dad, because a lot of people that she knew didn't used to do this. So she couldn't understand why her dad would do this with her. But then, what she then realized now is that as she has gotten older, she's someone that when she doesn't do something at something, she just sees it, okay, so what did I learn from here? Exactly. That's what happens. Every time you fail, you learn something new about yourself, something new about the situation, something new about that particular thing you tried out that did not work, and you should be willing to try again. It takes a bit of training, but it's something that you try and do. Remove the you in failure. Yes, sometimes failure, just like success, a lot of us see it as a finality. So it's like when you define your idea of success, when I get this, when I buy this house, I make success, you tend to not want to try again. It's problematic because it's life keeps moving. So just because you did something well now doesn't mean that you shouldn't do it again. Do you understand? Or you shouldn't aspire for something higher. You now sit down there, and after a while you just become, obsolete. That's what happens. So that's the same thing with failure. Just because something happens to you now, a failure becomes definite or becomes defined when you do nothing else after. Do you understand? So failure is something that we should know, that we should remove yourself from it. It's not personal. Yeah, that's it. Remove the you from failure. It's not personal. Change that. Then what else is they take action and reduce fear. Fear is one thing that I think causes a lot of confidence issues. You're scared that you can go and meet your boss and ask for a raise and the person will say no. That you failed at that particular time does not mean you cannot come back again. But it's like it's a problem when you don't even try at all. Do you understand? It's problematic. You don't even try at all. Okay, so I'm going to jump now because I don't want this video to be too long. Let me see. Say goodbye to yesterday. Yes, things like regrets and worry. Don't do it. Then I'll read the last one. Let me see which one will I make the last one that I liked. Get over yourself and start giving. I have one more I want to say. Anyway, get over yourself. Basically, get rid of selfishness. The more selfish you are, the more you make things about yourself, and it's so true. A lot of times when you feel like, okay, people did not do this for me. It's all about me. It's all about me. You tend to look at things. How do I explain it? Because I know this is something I think I suffered for a minute. When you always feel like everybody did anything to you, the thing is that nobody really cares about you as much as you think they do. It's not a slight remark. It's not a snide remark. Sorry, it's not shade that I'm throwing. It's actually fact. People are busy worrying about the things that matter to them. People are trying to pay school fees, trying to make money, trying to make things happen. They don't really have time to sit down and dwell on your matter as that big a matter. But even if they do, should it bother you as much? Should it stop you from achieving the purpose to which you have as a person? Do you understand? Sit down, figure out your purpose and follow it. All this too much, what would this person say? What would that person say? Blah, 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 about me. It will stop you from achieving things. Do you understand? And it will lead you, anytime you do something that you now feel like, oh, everybody's laughing at me because I failed at this thing, and they intend not to want to do it. Do not give up. Continue to go. People that have achieved a lot on earth today are people that failed continuously but continue to succeed because they did not stop. Do you understand? So that's let me say the last one. Learn from a bad experience and make it a good experience. Let me stop with that one. Learn from a bad experience and make it a good experience. I think this is actually very self-explanatory. It's like, learn something that is bad that happened to you. You can either sit down, and that's something I think we do a lot. By we, I mean a lot of people that I know. Something happened to you years down the line, sometimes a decade down the line. Oh, you don't believe this thing happened to me. When this one happened, it really pained me. This one happened. So it's like, what did you learn from it? If you can learn from it, it makes you someone that can be great at it. So you have to be very, very careful about how you handle the bad experiences in your life, and just understand that bad as bad, there's something good to learn from it. I know it sounds very motivational speech-ish, but that is the fact. Most times, if something bad happens to you, you can draw strength from, you can draw inspiration from, you can draw ideas from. There are some things, some people have run into problems, and in that problem they sit down and they make a lot of money just because they came up with, okay, so what can I do to solve this problem? Or this thing that happened to me, and I know a lot of people go through the same thing, so what can we do about it? And boom, they solve a problem. So that is it with me and this book. I hope I've convinced you to read this book. Jesse Maxwell is my person for this year. Last year was Robert Kiyosaki because I was trying to read a lot about business, but I'm trying to learn more about leadership, your attitude, and working in teams, and all that. So this is very important to me this year. Jesse Maxwell. I read 2 of his books last year, and I think it's the first I'm reading this year, which is really messed up since we're in March. But I'm going to go and continue to read more because the man has a lot. But if you're interested in this book's actually very easy to find just about everywhere you check. Ask Latana. Latana would have it. Ask Roving Heights, they would have it. Then if you are on Scribd, the audio is there and the e-version is there. Sit down, read this or listen to it, and you're going to enjoy it. Like I said, I preferred the e-version because I preferred the abridged version. That's the updated version because they had removed a lot of the stories. I didn't quite see the point of them being here anymore. They had been removed, so that's really good. So if I have convinced you, and if you like this video, Please give this video a thumbs up. Thank you very much. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't, and leave a comment below about your take on failure, something that has really pained you and you would like to share. I feel like sharing is actually a great way to actually start healing and learning from it. So you can share a story below. Maybe I can point out something that you may have learned from it, me being a mommy, or you can just share and that's fine. So thank you so much for watching. Bye bye now.